she starts doing videos online.
Mhm.
She covers her face, and then all of a sudden she goes from being this like chunky girl, and then she's a chunky girl who's like walking around with like all this pizzazz
Ooh,
and sass.
yeah.
She put some sass in her ass. Hi guys. Thank you for listening to What Have You Been Reading? My name is Karla.
And I'm Alex.
Woo woo! We did it! What?
Successful intro.
So we are recording on Zoom.
Yes.
And
but we're all
together. Yeah. And I did not enjoy looking at my scrunched face. That's the first thing that happened.
And if you're wondering why we're recording via Zoom when we're in the same place, it's because we can't figure out
our microphones
on any other platform.
Yeah.
You know, my face is blinding. I think it's the reflection from my fence outside.
Stop trying to seduce me, Alex.
Or listen to away in a dark room with me. Is that right?
Look at this. Okay.
Anyhow.
So what I was going to tell you is that I read your book, and
which one?
Next summer will be different.
Yes, by Carley Fortune.
Yeah. So what happened was that we are going to be recording with a guest host, and she's going to be talking to us about smut. So I was like, I really don't read smut, so I need to know what I'm into, what I'm like going into, right? Because like you and I were talking about the vulgarity of some of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I need to read some vulgar shit. And you recommended that to me. And I'm not going to talk about that yet because we're going to talk about that next. Because what I wanted something that would make me uncomfortable.
Right, which after you explained that, then I don't think I had any further recommendations.
Okay.
I think I threw out like Emily Henry, but I like Emily Henry.
That's why you said no. I want something that's gonna make me say ill, you know?
Yeah.
I'm fine with reading something that'll make me say ill.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's for the other discussion. My discussion for right now, which my face reminded me of when we turned on your laptop, was that girl calls people a potato. And I enjoy that because every now and then I'll call people a potato, like Channing Tatum. And I felt like I looked like a smashed potato when first about that. Not a mashed one, a smashed one. Yes. So anywho, what have you been reading?
What have I been reading? I've been reading a lot. I'm not prepared, obviously. Episode
22.
Oh, I finished reading Barely Even Friends, which was that Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
Retelling.
Was there a Gaston?
There was no Gaston. No Gaston equivalent. No Jerry. There was no. Well, the villain was kind of the guy's grandfather. But even that was a pretty mild villain.
Yeah.
But this is the book that I texted you with the language because he said, what did she say? Well, maybe we'll save it then. We'll save the language for the next episode. But there were a few scenes that had some intense language. So there were a few spicy scenes, but it was cute. Other than that, so she works on renovating homes, like old homes, old estates, and she goes to this house, and there's the grandson who's living there who is referenced as the Beast because he used to play football.
But he's hot.
Obviously. But he has a chip on his shoulder. He's definitely grumpy. She's the sunshine. And they're renovating, so they end up running out of rooms. It's a one-bedroom trope scenario as well. But you have your housing staff, which is obviously all of the like Chip and the
cute.
Who is the
Miss
mom?
Teapot.
Mrs. Teapot, yeah.
Oh
so there's the equivalent of those and the Cogsworth and Lumiere, so they're all represented in some fashion.
Okay.
And it's cute. And then
watch this movie because it's cute, but I already got rid of my Disney Plus.
Oh. Have you seen? I haven't seen the realistic one.
No.
No.
No, I'm not interested in it. It just doesn't look good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We watched 101 Dalmatians last night.
The real one?
The real one,
Mm-hmm.
which so cute. And it's funny how some of those things and I'm like, how do I still remember these lines? Like the very opening where it goes, too old, too young,
I don't remember that.
where all the dogs are walking by with their owners and
Oh.
he's trying to find an owner that matches them. I remembered that, and there are random lines that I remembered, and I'm like, God, how do I remember that? But I can't remember like the details from the book that I read last week.
Because that was important to you.
It's important to me. I watched it a lot. But right after we finished watching that, we watched the trailer for the realistic 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, that's what I meant.
I'm like, that's weird.
With what's her name? Glenn Close. That's Cruella DeVille.
Yes.
She can do anything.
She can do anything, but it looked weird. We did not watch it.
You know, I don't remember. Was it the Cinderella one? I watched the real life version of Cinderella, and it sucks so hard.
Really?
Yeah. I think what it is like I don't know if it loses its magic or what it is, but just it's not for me.
Yeah.
Give me the cartoon.
Yeah.
The old-timey cartoons that everybody spent like 1,000 hours on one scene.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want suffering to go into my cartoon.
I was pleased that it held Johnny's attention because I've noticed for some of these old Disney movies, it does not hold my kids' attention.
Dogs.
Maybe it's the dogs, but like the animation's too slow, the dialogue, it takes time to develop the storyline. But yeah, the kids are just used to like instant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, instant gratification, but faster animation, better animation. So I was pleasantly surprised that 101 Dalmatians passed.
Have you seen the next one's up? Like, because there's like 102.
I have not. I noticed that yesterday on Disney Plus, and I was like, "What are all of these?" I have not seen anything past the original.
Plus, the animation is worse. Not worse because the first movies are always good. The animation in number 2s and number 3 movies for Disney, they are usually like not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Little Mermaid animation, where she already has her daughter. I've never seen the movie, but I've seen like little splashes of things here and there.
Yeah.
No. Prince Eric, as bland as he was, he gets blander.
Yeah. But anyhow, so Barely Even Friends. The main female character is like a plus size character, and I enjoyed having that. Like, I feel like it's so rare to see in books where your main female character is something different than like
saying that like you don't get old.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I like when there's something different. But then of course she's like, the hot guy could never be into me because I'm fat. That's disappointing. I wish it was an all in that she could be like, I'm comfortable in my skin, and the hot guy's into me.
I feel like that's normal though, because like even if you're comfortable in your own skin, that doesn't mean that you think that everybody else is going to be comfortable with you.
True. Yeah, I just feel like you're taking a step.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to take the other step.
Mm-hmm. Come on, authors, get it together.
But it was cute.
Well, the other way would be what is that? Well, I don't know if this actually translates because in that show from HBO Euphoria, the plus size character becomes like this she starts doing videos online.
Mm-hmm.
She covers her face and then all of a sudden she goes from being this like chunky girl, and then she's a chunky girl who's like walking around with like all this pizzazz.
Ooh.
And sass.
Yeah.
She put some sass in her ass. So, but I feel like that is not real confidence. I don't think so. I feel like that, I mean, obviously it's just season 1, but and I don't think that they're gonna explore that in the next season. But like I think that that's confidence that she's getting from, strangers online.
Yeah.
Jacking off. Yeah.
Yeah. Karla, what have you been reading?
So I read Gray After Dark by Noelle Ihli. The same writer of Ask for Andrea.
Okay.
And it was so I thought to myself, okay, cool. This is not going to make me uncomfortable, but then it did. So basically it's about this one girl who is training to be in the Olympics, and she's in a biathlon group partner.
Biathlon.
She's in a partnership because it's two people that do it together. So she has to train with her partner and she also trains by herself.
I've never heard of a biathlon.
Me neither. And then you know how I do. I don't go digging for more, so I still don't know. I just know that she shoots a rifle and she runs, and he does something too. I don't know. So I'm sure they explained it in the book, but whatever. We will forgive me. We must. So she is in like the off season of training with him, so she decides to get like a part-time job at this one remote like hotel place, because it's within this big forest that has like trails, and it also has places that she can dip into, like icy water after her runs and stuff. And so she goes and she does that. Like maybe on her third day, she just does what she wants, and she goes off, does not tell anybody where she's at, does not tell anybody where she's running, takes nothing except for a little can of bear spray. And while she's in the water after her run, these two ragamuffin men come upon her,
Yeah.
and they kidnap her. And it's awful. It's awful.
The graphic.
So not at the beginning. And I don't think it was graphic either, once it got gross. But it still wasn't good. I didn't like that. Anyway, whatever. The point is that she gets to the cabin. They like walk for like 2 days, I think. And
Oh, wait,
then,
what do you mean it's like what part is gross?
okay, because one of them rapes her.
Okay.
Because basically they steal her away so that she can be one of their wives.
Ooh.
Because the other one already has a wife.
Yeah.
Gross. So then they come to the cabin. She sees that there's another young woman there, and the young woman has no eye.
Oh.
She's wearing this like burlap sack of a fucking dress, and basically she helps them, but she's there having been broken herself. So she's helping them tame her, and it just sucks, man. So then
Do you think we need a spoiler warning on this one?
no, because
Okay.
that's throughout the book.
Okay.
So then basically, the shitty part of it is that everybody thinks that an animal ate her.
You just assume that.
They assume that because everybody, because of a prior girl that went missing, and they found her clothes shredded up. So they find this girl's clothes like similarly shredded. So they're like, yeah, that's what it is. She got yoinked by a bear. So it was a difficult read, like toward the 75% forward. It was a small portion, but it was good. I
Yeah.
mean, the girl, the main character, she's a badass.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Can I rewind to the beginning
Yeah.
of your discussion of this about training and
Yeah.
marathons? Well, not marathon.
Biathlon.
Biathlon. So I am always so curious about like Olympic athletes, right? Because they have to practice so hard and train so hard. What do you do during the other 3 years to make a living?
I think they're
Does it talk
sponsored.
about like
They're sponsored, and she has a part-time job at this hotel place.
Yeah. I've always been curious. Yeah, do you have another job that kind of gets you by in between while you're pursuing
That
this
would be
very
weird, right?
intense,
Yeah.
physically demanding thing, but it's not making you money?
Mhm.
Yeah, I guess
Sponsorships.
you've got to have a sponsor. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And then look,
Yes.
it's a really difficult read in terms of like what the other young woman has gone through, because you kind of get to know, her stuff that went on with her. And I guess if you're gonna read it, just be aware that it's not, there is a part where it's just not cute. It's not
Not cute.
graphic. It's not graphic. Still disgusting. Yeah, you still know what's happening to her. So yeah. And she gets beaten.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it turns out that the girl lost her, not a spoiler. I mean, obviously they took her eyeball. It was because she tried to run. So they
yoinked her eyeball.
They yoinked her eyeball.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that.
Is
So
there a
that's
happy ending?
I can't tell you because that's a spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
no. The important part of this was that was because the author was inspired by a true story.
Oh God.
So in what actually happened, these two men took an athlete girl, and it pissed me off because apparently, like when she was found, everybody was like, "Oh, the last true mountain men," and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? They're kidnapping rapists, motherfuckers that should be castrated.
But they're celebrating that they're mountain men.
Fuck right off. I would go on such a tear if I heard that nowadays. I would go on such a fucking tear if somebody dared to like romanticize these disgusting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Ew. What have you been reading?
Well, I happened to read a Carley Fortune book as well. So I read Meet Me at the Lake, which has been on my list for a while. And it takes place in Canada.
Yeah, so did mine.
Yeah, so maybe she's a Canadian writer, which I hadn't put together. But I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I love lake houses and lake settings. I have a whole like blog on my a blog post on my blog that's just like all the reads that I've read. Being very eloquent. That are about lake houses and like spending the summer at the lake or vacations at the lake. I
like the visual aspect of it.
Yeah.
But can you imagine Mosquito Central?
Yeah.
And that's a no for me.
That's a no.
They always bite me.
They do bite me as well.
They always feast upon my skin.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
That's true. I haven't thought about the realities of it. But to me, the like idea of having a vacation home that you get to go every summer and you have like your kids have these great memories of like every summer we went to the lake and we did XYZ. Love that shit. So I love reading books about that.
But what about that? Is it a fish or is it a parasite? The one that goes up your urethra?
Oh, don't ruin things.
It goes up your urethra.
Anyhow.
You remember that dude that got that fucking flesh-eating bacteria?
No, I don't read those things. I don't listen to them. I don't read them. I don't explore them.
Well, I'm here for you.
Thanks. And it happens to me when I finally get my lake house someday. And then as soon as I buy it, I'm gonna be like, this was a huge mistake.
I mean, just don't go into the water.
Well, then why would I have a lake house?
To look at it, look how pretty. Look at how beautiful it is.
Anyhow, so this one takes place on a lake. The main character's mom owns a vacation lake place where they like rent cabins and stuff. And her mom recently passed away, so she has to go back and take over.
Okay.
Which she hadn't wanted to do. She was living in Toronto and kind of like city life, and she was a little upset that she had to go and take over because her mom left it to her.
Were we born into the wrong family? Like nobody's leaving me spots to like take over.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've thought of this before because I think like God, people are born into these families and you have generational wealth and you have like your career, like you just all these things. But then I think, what if their families are shitty? I love my family.
I could live without them.
No, I couldn't live without mine.
I like my mom. I like a few of my aunts. Yeah. Some of my uncles are cool. Some of my uncles are dead. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like I'm very much a hermit. So I could definitely just be like, all right, deuces.
I feel like I won the lottery with a lot of my
Okay,
family.
fine, then fine. You be poor and I'll take it on.
know.
I'll take on the brunt
Can
of
I come
having.
here?
Well, I'll do this for you.
You let me use your lake house for a
Just
couple weeks
go
before you
into,
do summer.
go into my parasite ridden.
So yeah, the mom left her the vacation lake house estate. It does have multiple timelines. It goes back to when she met this guy. There's like a guy that was painting a mural in the coffee shop that she worked. And they got to talking and they hit it off and they ended up spending the entire day together and obviously made a huge impact on each other. So the story evolves in obviously present day when she's back at the resorts trying to figure out how to run it and dealing with the grief of losing her mom. And then going back to when she met this guy and kind of going through their day and how they got to know each other. And then it turns out that that guy shows up at the lake in present day to, he was going to help her mom get the vacation place up to date so that it could be more business savvy. So now she's, dealing with having him back in her life, even though he had disappointed her previously because they were supposed to meet up a year from when they originally met.
That is okay. I hate that. Why? Just exchange phone numbers.
He refused to exchange numbers, and instead he said, "I'll meet you in a year."
Gross. Go fuck yourself.
And then he stood her up in a year, and then 9 years later.
Was it on purpose that he stood her up?
You don't know about it throughout the book. I'm not going to spoil it. But then 9 years from that, so 10 years from when they originally met, they're back in the same place.
No. Did he grow out of that? Out of that lameness of because like as much as I like the movie Serendipity, that movie pisses me off as well, where she writes her phone number on a $5 bill and she sticks it in a book.
Serendipity has the frozen hot chocolate in New York, right?
I don't remember that.
I think it does. I think it's the only thing I remember.
Kate Beckinsale and John Cusack.
Yeah.
Okay. While I love that movie,
yeah,
that is stupid.
Yeah.
Just exchange phone numbers for Pete's sake. It's like those movies, and they've like the collective they've talked about how like when people are like making plans and stuff, they're like, okay, I'll see you, and it's like where, what time?
Give me details.
Okay.
See, that's why I was trying to nail down details today for our our book retreat.
I really got a kick out of that.
Thank you. To make it happen. We had book club today, and I was trying to make sure we cemented details because we've let a whole year go by. Yeah. Make it happen. Yeah.
Okay.
What
if it's not there?
It doesn't have to be there.
Okay, so the space is open-ended. You just want to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I think how great would that be?
I mean, I've been wanting to do it for years. Yeah. I always like going away.
Yeah, me too.
Like to a close by place that I can just like I've told you before, just be a vegetable. Yeah. I want to be a vegetable elsewhere.
Yeah, I want to be a vegetable elsewhere as well. But with people also. Yeah. So I'm gonna make it happen. Okay. So meet me at the lake. It was cute. It was romantic. They had some real life shit that they had to work out. There was loss and grieving, obviously, for her mom. And yeah. Okay. I would read it again.
Fair.
And I think I will explore more Carley Fortune books.
Even though you told me she makes you uncomfortable sometimes.
See, I can't remember now what scenes would have made me uncomfortable from that other book that I recommended to you.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So I finished book 4 finally of the Dark Tower series. I know.
Right?
It was so much. It was so much to get through it. I just could not. I don't know what it is. Wizard and Glass just is not my jam.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we got through it. And then, also, Jesus Christ, can I ever finish a sentence without interrupting myself?
It's better than me interrupting you.
My God, I don't know, because then at least someone else is at fault for it.
Yeah.
But like when it's my own brain and my own face, like making the mouth movements, Jiminy crickets. Anyway,
What
Okay.
was Misty saying about when she identifies with you versus me?
It's true though. So I just there was a part where at the end of number 4 where they go off into like basically Oz.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that I liked that. And I've
Yeah.
never paid attention to how much that was just like, can we just get out of here?
Yeah.
Get out of Kansas. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. The point is that I'm done with number 4, and I am so freaking stoked to be in number 5. We have
In Espanol.
in Espanol still.
Yeah.
We have already gotten like a little listen of Father Callahan. Father Callahan, what?
Little shout out.
And then Oy continues to be just the cutest little guy.
Or in Spanish,
Acho.
Acho.
Love him. Love him. And I really like number 5, and I'm so excited
That's
that I'm
fantastic.
into it. I'm in it. So anywho, that's where I'm at right now.
Cool.
And then I have not finished Iron Flame. I finished Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
I'm like I think halfway into Iron Flame. So I'm gonna be ready to discuss that. Or actually no, we agreed that we were going to read Onyx Storm.
Yes. And then discuss.
I have an idea.
Tell me.
Okay, Onyx Storm has to be either about the death of Tarn.
Okay.
Or the possibility of death of Tarn.
Okay.
Or the illness of Tarn.
So we're talking about Tarn.
Or possibly something going really wrong, even more so than Xaden being a venom, because I noticed that in Fourth Wing and maybe in Iron Flame, she makes references to how both of them look like Onyx in her head.
Ooh.
They're bond and shit.
Yeah.
So it's one of those two.
Hmm.
Like I feel like it's Taryn though, because Xaden would be too obvious because he's already a venom. So I feel like Taryn is gonna get fucked up somehow. And I don't know how, because he's like the biggest dragon around, right?
Right.
He's like big man on campus. So
I
who's gonna bring him down?
I have seen people saying that the ending kind of fucks them up a bit.
I'm telling you, Taryn is gonna die, and then
I don't think he can though, right? But doesn't if Taryn dies, doesn't Violet die?
No, because remember
she's
that she's the first person who's ever bonded with two dragons. So she's probably gonna get hella, like, I don't know,
But then if
sick or
Taryn
something.
dies, doesn't Sagal die? Because they're mated? And then wouldn't that mean that
Maybe.
Xaden also would die?
Then that puts a little crimp in my theory.
Yeah.
Maybe Taryn just gets, I don't know, clawed or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you know what's really cute? And Darna finally has claws instead of paws. It's so cute.
So cute.
And I really like how she wants to eat people.
Yeah.
That's cute.
She's adorable.
She just wants to snack on people, just chomp on enemies.
Yeah.
Love it.
I took Onyx Storm with me. We went to the mountains.
Did you read it?
I took it with me and then I started to read it, but I was like in the living room and the boys were watching something and it just wasn't the right setting.
Okay.
You know, I was trying to focus on the book, but I'm like hearing like kiddie show in the background and the kids are snacking. And then I'm like, I don't think this is the place to be reading. So I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, I read like 3 pages, but I really need to get on it.
Well, take it easy.
Yeah.
Wait for me to get
true, because if I read it now, I'm not going to remember anything by the
Exactly.
time that you read it.
Yeah, so
okay. Maybe I'll wait.
Yeah.
Tell Me Everything was our book club pick, which we talked about at book club today.
Yeah, I liked it.
You liked it. The general consensus was kind of eh.
So
I didn't finish it.
I didn't mind it. You didn't finish it because you didn't want to. And
Correct.
I don't know, it was just boring for you?
Yeah, I think I don't like the writing style.
Mm-hmm.
I had a really hard time the last time I read that author getting through it, and I started feeling the same way with this one. And then I thought, I have like other books in line. I have books from Libby that are waiting. I have physical books. I have ARCs that I could be reading. This felt like really want to waste my time on a book that I'm not
Okay.
loving.
Okay.
So I let it go.
I went into it scared that I was gonna dislike it because you had told me
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
glad that
weren't
you.
into it. But I liked it.
That's great.
I do have one thing that I listened to it at 1.6 and then I bumped up to 1.8
Ooh. Okay, after you finish, go
and then
ahead.
I bumped it to 2.
Wow.
I was just fucking going.
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't finish it in time. So I got through like 75% of it and I
Okay.
liked it. I liked it quite a bit. But you know that as much as I like crazy things in books, I also really enjoy just like lackadaisical, just easy peasy,
Slice of
breezy
life.
slice of life stuff.
This one was definitely slice of life.
Very much. Yeah.
Like it really just was. I did this today.
Mm-hmm.
I did this today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
I did a little poll on our Instagram.
I saw
If you're
that.
not following us, it's at What Have You Been Reading? So I did a poll on
I
audio.
like that it's our Instagram. I'm like, yeah, I saw that.
Because I was so curious after whatever episode it was that Carla and I were talking about this, what is everyone's default speed that you start listening to a book. And I'm in the minority at 1.0. It was 23%. 38% was 1.25 and 38% was higher than 1.25. So obviously the majority of people are reading most of their audiobooks at a faster speed than 1.0, which has prompted me now to start at what 1.25.
How do you feel about it?
I like it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think 1.4 was the fastest I went on one, and above that it's like too speedy. But 1.25 seems to kind of cover those dramatic pauses.
Yeah.
What was funny is that we were still listening to that audiobook with the boys.
The Wilder Boys.
The Wilder Boys. And so I would bump up my speed, and then the boys got into the car and we were listening to it for a while, and Jake goes, "This seems a bit faster than what we were listening to." And I go, "Oh, you're right." So I have to bump it down for them.
Hold on. Oh, you mean you would go back and forth between books and the speed would maintain?
Yes, because I'm listening to them on
I was
Libby.
like, you can't be listening ahead on a book you're sharing with your kids.
Listening to it on Libby, and I'd switch books, but it maintains the speed from the other book that you're reading. So I had to keep switching back and forth. But I thought that was interesting. And then I forgot in our intros to share what people have been reading.
Oh, okay.
Which we had a few. I just posted it this morning, but Flippin' Pages 10 on Instagram is reading Inherent Vice by Thomas Pynchon, and that sounded interesting. And the cover is like a neon pink and green, which just looks cool. And then like the vehicle from like the Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Which sounds cool. And then Ghent on the Block is reading The God of the Woods. Have you heard about that book at all?
No.
It's one of those like big splash blockbuster books.
Oh.
That a lot of people are talking about. But it's kind of, I think there's like a murder-y component to it. So I have stayed away from it.
I like murder.
You should read it and let me know what you think about it. But it's gotten a lot of buzz. It's a buzzin'. And then Legends.
Let me look at
this is the God of the Woods cover.
Okay.
And then she's also reading Legends and Lattes, which I think the cover is hilarious. Carla's favorite, which is
no.
I don't even know what those are, like elves and
I don't know. Let me see. Let me look closer with my blind eyeballs.
It's gonna, yeah.
Oh, there's like an underbite going on. And it has a prequel story. No.
And I think it might be a series.
Ah, I lost it.
You lost it.
There was a little tail also.
There is a tail.
Oh, no.
Dolphins and lattes. But I've seen this one making the rounds as well. So I'm curious to see what Carly has to say about those. And then our very own Shook is reading The Family Experiment by John Mars. And that description includes the words dystopian and virtual parenting.
I don't like virtual parenting, but I do like dystopian.
Right? Mm-hmm. No, I'm intrigued.
Oh my God, The Family Experiment. Okay, so like they're not within the household. They just kind of like Big Brother parent.
I think so. There's like in the, obviously dystopian. There's another word that described it that was interesting.
That's messed up toward the kids though.
What if that's the best they have? What if my parents are gone?
Okay. Cool.
What if like all of the adults got wiped out or something?
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't read it, obviously. The other book that Shook is reading is I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue. And this, I feel like I came across this book before and it looked interesting. It said it's kind of like for fans of The Office.
Okay.
And it's like a romantic comedy-ish.
Okay.
So that one looks cute. I would read that. But yeah, that's what people have been reading. Have you been reading anything else, Carla?
I don't know. But oh yeah, Unlikely Story by Ali Rosen. So I read that before asking you for help or recommendations
Yeah.
because I was like, okay, I'm just gonna read this because it's a prime read, whatever. And then it, what happened in this book? She's a therapist
Yeah.
and she lives in a co-op in New York. And one of her elderly neighbors, because it's like all old folks in there except for her, and she's lived there for a few years already, so she gets along with them fine. She's not like buddy buddy or anything, but she
Yeah.
is fine with them. She takes care of one of their dogs, whatever. Um, so one of the elderly residents has died, and her grandson is coming to live there. So it's doing a whole like hullabaloo because he has access to the roof
Yeah.
because of his apartment. That apartment is the apartment that has the rights to the roof.
Okay.
So he wants to do some renovations up there, and she has like a dog that has like PTSD or something.
Yeah.
And the dog does not enjoy all the noise that that would cause.
Yeah.
So they get into like that, like there's friction there, and um, of course he's like super duper hot.
Of course.
And it turns out that he knows her because he was in a relationship with one of her ex-patients.
Okay.
So he does not like her. And she doesn't like him either.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, they are like super into each other physically.
Yeah.
And then the neighbors are all very cute and they kind of like, they mother hen them and stuff,
Aww.
which is cute. And then there's like some family stuff with her because she's kind of like a doormat with her
Mhm.
family. Her two parents are constantly like leaning on her, even though they're able-bodied and able-minded. Minded?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Able-bodied?
they're able-bodied and able-minded.
Okay.
They don't have dementia and they're not crippled.
Okay.
So they should be able to do stuff for themselves and they don't. And they're constantly leaning on her, and her brother just allows it because it's easier for him to allow that.
Yeah.
And so none of it falls on him. So there's like some family stuff there that we get to see that, get settled. However,
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how it got settled.
Okay.
Because let me tell you this.
Tell me.
So she gets told throughout the book sometimes that, she needs to talk to her parents and kind of like cut the cord there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then instead of her standing up for herself, which I guess she kind of does at the end, whatever. Instead of her standing up for herself, he speaks for her.
Mm.
I don't like that. He's like rude to her mom.
It's like ordering for someone at the restaurant when
Yeah.
they don't like ordering them a salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he speaks rudely to her mom. And then one of her neighbors speaks like to her mom. And it's like, look, I get it. She has no backbone. She needs to grow one. But at the same time, like just because we all see this thing happening, that's not cool. Like
Yeah.
you can't do that.
Yeah.
Unless there's been a prior conversation in which she has said, "Hey man,
Please do this
I
for me."
can't figure out how to like stand up to my mom and
Yeah.
my dad, so you need to tell them for me. You need to open that door for me."
Yeah.
No. No.
No.
So, anywho, it was a cute story. It did not give me what I wanted,
Yeah.
which was I was looking for something that was going to make me cringe. There was no cringe factor. There was no jalapeno peppers.
Okay.
Was there? No.
No.
There were no jalapeno peppers. So I was like, okay, I'm just reading these freaking books and I'm not doing the homework that I am setting for myself in order to give myself something to cringe at.
Or do you think your level of is so high?
No, she got the shivers. Oh, and I got the shivers. And he touched my leg and oh, I felt a shiver. It's like, all right, fucking get over it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. No, I'm not gonna like, oh my God, I don't know about this to a friggin' leg shiver.
Yeah, no election was.
Unless it's like undulating.
I did forget on the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits.
Yeah.
There was some interesting points made, like they referenced Britney Spears and Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
And the idea, right, that our female pop stars have to be this perfect combination of like sexy and hot in order to sell the commodity of their voice.
But also innocentish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was a very interesting point that they.
But I feel like that was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I don't know that we have that now. Like nowadays, if Britney Spears were to come along, we wouldn't be like writing articles about like, oh, she's saving herself from marriage.
Yeah.
Or, oh, she got fucked by Justin Timberlake. We would not be having that conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't have that conversation with Taylor Swift. We
Yeah.
didn't have that conversation with like,
We've come a long way.
look at us
Look
being
at us,
so
society.
like, my God, forward thinking.
I
mean, like honestly, Britney Spears, she put up with a lot. And so did Jessica Simpson.
So sad.
It sucks for them.
Yeah.
Girls, get some therapy.
Get some therapy. We all need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, do you want to talk about what you will be reading?
Sure don't, because I don't have a plan.
Hey, you know what ART I got?
Okay.
I got the pumpkin, the strawberry patch pancake house.
Is it from that author?
Yes.
Oh, I just sent no. I just sent well,
Uh-huh.
I just sent Brooke a reel about a croissant.
Yeah.
That gets okay.
That's
so
a light?
No, get this. So they take like the whipped help me. They get the whipped cream cheese, like that little tub thing, and then they put in like mashed berries.
Okay.
And I told Brooke this needs blues, not strawberries, but whatever, whatever floats anybody's boats. So they put in mashed berries.
Never heard blueberries. Blues. Is that
Of course
a thing?
you have. I've said it before. So then they put this mixture of like berry with like a little bit of like I think maple syrup or whatever and the cream cheese and they slather it on to the croissant, to the open face croissant, and then they put it together.
Yeah.
And then they cut it and they put it into a pan and then they make that into French toast in the oven.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Oh my God. I want it, but then like I know that I wouldn't be able to finish it, but I want the whole pan for myself.
Maybe. Oh, I was just gonna say if you're willing to share, we can make it at a reading retreat.
Well, they said that I wouldn't be able to finish it, but I want to be able to think in my head.
I know, but
this
listen,
whole
I
pan
don't
is
want you to
funny.
make it for everyone, and then you're gonna be staring at everyone that's eating it
Angrily. How dare you eat from my
I
pan?
don't want to have a guilt trip while I'm trying it. You're staring at me.
Like,
dare
how
you?
dare you eat from my pan? That I'm not gonna be able to finish.
So
But
yeah,
doesn't it sound delicious?
it does sound delicious.
And that made me think of that because of the book that you're gonna
The
read.
Strawberry Pancake House, which is from the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which then also had
The cinnamon bun shop.
yeah, and then also had the Christmas Tree Farm. And so this is the next installment, which I've gone back and forth on like now they're like a dime a dozen, but they're still cute. And now I'm like invested in Dream Harbor and all the little characters. And now all the other characters are making appearances, which I love that shit.
Cute.
Now there's like Hazel's in here, and you know who Hazel is, except if you're me. So you don't remember who Hazel is, but eventually it starts making sense.
Okay.
So I've got that one. And then on Libby, I got The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst, which has been on my list for a while.
Okay.
Which, have you heard of the term cottagecore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's old. That's like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's a whole slew of books now that
People
are
are
like
still into it
cottagecore.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for this one.
Oh, are you gonna read The Parable of the Sower?
I will. That's our next
Yeah.
book club for March.
Okay, so I'm gonna use that as my to be read.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna read that. Okay.
And then I'm in the process of finishing up The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center, which has also been on my list for a long time. And it's a cute rom-com, and I am loving the narrator. I think I think the book is good, and then I think I'm really loving it. Rom-Commers.
Okay.
And I'm really liking that author. I think I will explore other titles by Catherine Center.
I'm trying to. Oh, you know what?
What?
Okay, so I want to read this book, but I don't know that I will. It's called Lapvona.
Okay.
And it's by the same author as My Year of Rest and Relaxation, the one where she takes medication to be like knocked out.
Yeah.
It's by the same author. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to read that.
Cool. Fantastic. Well, happy reading, everybody.
Yeah, please tell us what you've been reading.
Tell us what you've been reading. Let us know if you end up reading any of our recommendations. It's always nice to hear people pick up a book because we recommended it.
Yeah.
Happy reading.
Bye.